and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, America's coolest conservative is on with the Ritchie Roundup. I am TJ Ritchie, radio legend and podcast wannabe. Thank you for joining me here in my continued efforts to, bring down the left. I'm fighting, baby. Now I have some breaking news. First of all, I got to get this set. Something that I'm going to focus on tonight. I didn't have time to get to in my radio show. Now, second of all, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Yes, I am wearing a sleeveless T-shirt. Okay, everybody talks about my sleeveless T-shirts like I'm just white trash whenever I'm wearing them, but it's hot. We're having record heat. I was wearing this today, beating the heat, and then I had to come in and do the radio show in my studio here in my palatial lake estate on Lake Norman in North Carolina, and so I didn't care. Just say, all right. Say what you're going to say. Say what you're going to say. I don't even care. All right. Listen to this. This is something that just came out a little while ago on, I found it on MAGA Mafia Media. It says the FBI had a mole inside Gavin Newsom's inner circle. Newsom's longtime insider, Alexis Podesta, has been recording conversations for federal investigators for almost 2 years. Ruh-roh. Right in the heart of the Gavin Newsom's most trusted circle. California is shook. This is major news. Here's the article by Josh Cohen. Busted out at 7:09 Eastern tonight. The revelation, she was wearing a wire as far back as June 2024, explains why a swath of Sacramento political insiders and lobbyists were stunned to receive FBI letters last fall informing them that their phone calls had been intercepted during the investigation, despite many having little or no connection to Williamson. Okay, so Gavin Newsom looks like he is in some controversy. All right, so we'll keep you posted on that on the radio and here on the podcast and whatever else. All right, here's what I didn't have time to get to on the radio show tonight. I haven't talked about this twisted little sick freak that's running for Senate in Texas, James Tallarico. This wormy little bastard, who I think is actually possessed by the Satan. I mean, this is just an evil little bastard. He really is. Just calls himself a minister, but a minister he is not. He's a minister of Satan. That's what he is. He's Satan's pastor. So he was speaking at a Pride event. And he said that SB 14, the ban on transgender surgeries for minors, quote unquote, infuriates me and is, quote, the most dangerous bill that passed in Texas. He also criticized SB 12, the law banning sexually oriented performances in the presence of children, and says, quote, you can't be pro-freedom if you're banning, whatever this is, pornographic books in schools, from school libraries. And this is the sick little bastard. Listen.
I think if I'm thinking through the three most dangerous LGBTQ attack bills that made it through, I would say the most dangerous is SB 14, which would deny many times life-saving health care from our trans youth in Texas.
All right, what is life-saving health care for trans youth in Texas? What is that? Because they present it like they're saying somebody who, these little kids who suffer from what do you call it? Trans dysphoria, whatever it is. That If they don't have their genitals swapped out, then they're going to die because they've got the wrong genitals and they're going to die from it. Just like they've got cancer. If they don't get rid of the tumor, they're going to die. Gender dysmorphia. That's what I was trying to think of. It's a long day. I do 17 shows a day. So by the time I get to this one, I'm a little bit fried. So excuse me. Yeah. So it's just like a cancer they've got. If a little girl can't get her boobs cut off, as soon as she starts growing them, she's going to die. That's what they make it sound like. These bloodthirsty ghouls like James Tallarico. So let's start over.
I think if I'm thinking through the three most dangerous LGBTQ attack bills that made it through, I would say the most dangerous is SB 14, which would deny many times life-saving health care from our trans youth in Texas.
Okay. Life-saving health care. Now, I told you how these Marxists, they always want to change the language, and they're the reason why they call killing unborn babies reproductive health care, because they know what they're preaching for is evil, ghoulish, and that normal people who have a sense of decency don't want to hear the truth. So they come up with these phrases, life-saving medical procedures and things like that. Now, what he really means, if you ask them, hey, freak, you little wormy bastard, what are you talking about? How is it life-saving medical treatment? Are they going to die if they don't get gender affirming care, as you call it? If they're not changing their gender, are these little kids going to die? And he would say, well, the suicide rate, if they don't get the procedure done to put them in the body that they're supposed to be in, then they will kill themselves. That's what they mean. And they neglect to tell you the suicide rate of people who have had gender reassignment surgery, a sex change operation is what it used to be called. The suicide rate of those people is through the roof. The ones who actually had it done. They don't want to tell you that because he's a bloodthirsty son of a bitch. He's a cruel, cruel person. All under the guise of little Mr. Softly Spoken. I care about the kids, the trans kids. And, oh, these are attack bills. All these attack bills. Yeah. Okay, let's see the rest of it.
The reason that I oppose that bill is because I trust parents and doctors to make decisions for kids and not politicians in Austin.
Okay, so doctors and parents making a decision to cut off little children's genitals and taking a little boy and making him believe he's a little girl and he's going to live as a little girl. That's what he thinks he's saying is between the parents and the doctors. Well, it's between the doctor. The doctor wants to do it because the doctor is making a huge amount of money off of this. The doctor takes a kid, let's say that's 12, and does the gender reassignment surgery. That's a patient for life. That's medication for life. That's going for regular doctor's visits, nonstop, forever. So the doctors, and if a doctor's performing this procedure on a child, then that doctor is a butcher. A butcher. Okay, so you got that. Performing this procedure. Leave it to the parents and the doctor. All right. So let's say I'm a parent and I have a 6-year-old and I say, you know what? My 6-year-old needs an AR-15. And here's this pediatrician right here. We hunt together. Pediatrician, you think 6-year-old needs an AR-15? I think he needs to go ahead and start learning how to use it and blah, 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 blah. James Tallarico going to say, let's leave that to the parents and the doctors. Ha! No. I bet you could get some doctors to agree to putting a tattoo on a kid's forehead, a big eagle, or even better yet, have a parent and the kid wants a tattoo across his forehead that says MAGA on it. And the doctor said, well, I mean, it's not really putting him in any danger. If that's what he really wants, then, kid says, I'm going to kill myself if I don't get it. Well, we don't want that. This is a life-saving medical procedure to get this tattoo of MAGA put on a 6-year-old's forehead. Stupid ass.
This has been, one of the themes of this session has been parental rights and parental autonomy and parental consent. And so to see my colleagues who have been champions for parents turn around and then undermine parents in our state just because they have trans kids infuriates me, and I hope it infuriates
you. Hear the evil in this. So what he's saying is all of these people who say, look, we don't want our kids being exposed to sex shows in school with drag queens. We don't want our kids being exposed to these pornographic books that are talking about how to have gay sex and how to have sex with an adult and all these other things that they've been reading in these school board meetings that are available in the school libraries. They call that book banning, though. Oh, it's censorship, book banning. So for a parent to say, I don't want my kid being exposed to that, these are my rights and by parental rights, we ought to be able to keep our kids from learning about all of this trans bull crap and all of the LGBTQ plus lessons that they have in school and all that. These are our parental rights. Then they turn that around because he's an evil son of a bitch. And he goes, oh, well, you're talking about parental rights, yet you don't want these parents to have the right to cut their kids' genitals off? It's the same thing. It's pretty hypocritical of you. I thought you were for parental rights. It's so immature, so slimy. And this is a man who claims to be a man of God, a spiritual leader for Christians. Oh.
And I hope you remember it when you go vote next November. Thank you. I think we're talking mostly about SB 14, the bill that would deprive trans children of necessary health care, and also SB 12, the anti-drag bill. But I also want to say that Democrats didn't stick together on another anti-LGBTQ bill, which is the book banning bill that would remove library books in schools just because they have a gay character or they're by a gay author.
Not at all. Why? And if you kept up with anything, it's not just because they're written by gays. They're written by gays about gay sex and how to have it and who's having it and what the feelings are. And they're books about grooming children into the gay lifestyle. That's what they are. Everybody knows it. And he's just being, a heathenist liar is what he's being.
That bill is un-American. I think it's unconstitutional, and I look forward to legal challenges of that bill. But I have to say, the Republican Party likes to say they are the party of freedom, the party of family, the party of faith. You can't be pro-freedom if you are banning books in a school library. And you can't be...
All right, let's see. Would you be banning a book in a school library if it were all about, I don't know, how to skin a deer, how to shoot, kill, and skin a deer? Or would you like to have a book in the school library about conservatism and putting it in little kids' terms about how patriotism and conservatism go hand in hand? And what about a book about protecting American freedom from the invasion of foreigners from the third world who want to change our country into Sharia law? Would you want to ban those books in the library? Jamie, you sick freak. I bet you'd be up there banning those, wouldn't you? Oh, if there was a book about 9/11 and the people who hate us, if there was a book about why mommy and daddy fear Sharia law, let's get that and put it in the library. Or even better than that, Matt Walsh wrote a book for children called Johnny the Walrus. And it's all about, it's an anti-trans book about how Johnny the Walrus thought he was something else. And should they treat him that way? I mean, yeah, what about that one? You want that one in the school library? Somebody should ask him that. How do you feel about that? Since he's always, Mr. Stand Up for LGBTQ plus stuff, why he's always for plus stuff. See what I did there? So this sick freak, this little weirdo, tell him we're going to put Johnny the Walrus in the school libraries. What's his reaction? That would be funny. You know what his reaction would be. That's an anti-LGBTQ plus book. Well, looks like you're a hypocrite then. What is the rest of this?
Pro-family if you are investigating parents just because they have a trans kid. And you can't be pro-faith if you're hurting our LGBTQ neighbors. And so I hope all of us will call them out on that hypocrisy this year and next year when we have an election.
Yeah, please. All you Texans, call parents out for not wanting their kids to be indoctrinated and groomed into the gay culture and the trans culture. Please. He really is eating up with all this stuff, isn't he? I mean, that's his platform. Everything is about the gays and the trans and the children, transing the children. I mean, that's his platform. That's what he's obsessed with it. He is absolutely obsessed with little children and their sexuality. Let me say it again, and you can take it, run with it, tell as many people as you want that I said it. James Tallarico, candidate for Senate in Texas, the Democrat nominee, is obsessed with little children and their sexuality. He is obsessed with it. James Tallarico is obsessed with little children and their sexuality. And we'll end it on that. Thank you for watching and listening and being part of the TJ Ritchie radio and podcast family. Good night.